I really don't need the slide. I'm always prepared in case technology does not happen. Brian Salmeno, my business partner, is in the background. Usually bails me out on the technology anyway. So I'm a corporate world escapee. I spent 20-odd years working in corporate America in finance, and some of it I loved, a lot of it I hated. It wasn't about doing what I loved to do, it was about doing what somebody else told me I needed to do. And I needed to do it 80 hours a week. And one Sunday night, it was my birthday, it was 10 o'clock at night, and I was at work. The only unusual thing about the situation was there were 20 other people with me. Usually I was there alone or with just my team. And I said, bullshit, I can't do this anymore. I don't see my family. I don't have any control of my life. I've got to get a game plan. So I didn't have one. It took 5 years to figure out what that game plan was. And the thing was, I could sell on eBay. That was kind of hard. I was not, it was like everything had to be a picture, everything had a description. It was like I was getting way too emotionally involved with each and every product. It wasn't scalable. And I knew about scale. So then I thought, well, I can sell on Amazon. Maybe, what is this thing, sell yours? You sell my what, used stuffed animals? So I did. I sold used stuffed animals. That's where I started. My kids had bunches of them. Everybody in this room has kids? Or you have 3,000 or 4,000 stuffed animals in your kids' rooms? And as I threw them out, I thought, what a waste. They didn't even touch these. There's the one that looks like this. That one didn't go. But the other ones were perfectly good, and Amazon let me sell them as collectible. You know, the Barney was collectible, whatever. So I started doing that. And that was great. The profit margin was ridiculous. But scalable, you know, there's only so many Barneys. So then I thought, well, what else can I do? Meanwhile, in the background, I'm getting laid off, and I'm getting another job, or I'm getting, worse yet, I'm not getting laid off, but somebody else is, and I'm getting their job. So, okay, keep going. Okay, you said it's okay, keep going. So, I'm selling on Amazon. I start doing retail arbitrage. And I start doing the math, and I'm like, all right, well, I did this much. If I did this full time, I could do this. Then I got the news I was going to get laid off in 18 to 24 months. It's like, perfect. That's all the time. Am I getting a severance package? They're like, it's like, oh, that's great. That's terrible. Very sad. What will I do? I will do Amazon full time. So that was amazing. And I was like, this is great. I'm making my own life. I'm doing whatever I want. A year later, I get suspended. Shit! What am I going to do? How did I let this happen? I am so single-threaded. All I do is go out and shop, which, ladies, that was great. I like that. That was my therapy. So when I was pissed about something, I would buy stuff. But then I could sell it, and my husband couldn't be angry at me that there was less money to make. There was more money to make. But then I was suspended, and I was like this. Oh yeah, there, that's me in the corner. And I was like, my husband goes, I'm actually worried about you. I'm usually never worried about you. Even when stuff at work was really horrible, you were like, no, it's okay. I'll get through this. We just have to work harder or longer. We can do it. And so I was just like, what am I going to do? I've ruined our lives. And then I said, bullshit. You know what? I've always wanted time on my hands. He's back. I've always wanted time on my hands. Everybody in this room will say, I wish I could just stop time for a few minutes and do whatever I wanted to do. Well, all of a sudden I had 3 weeks of that. And I was like, and after the first 2 days I was laying on the floor, I got up and I said, no, I need a plan. And my plan was, my plan was diversification. So when I worked in finance, that was one of our big words. Diversify. Well, it was like location, and diversify. So I thought, well, RA and OA is great, and I love Amazon, but it's the only thing. And RA, my problems that I got suspended for, I didn't do anything wrong, which was even more frustrating. I sold counterfeit soap. Yeah, I'm in my basement, I got a big bag, I'm doing this, over there I'm printing covers. No, that's not what is going on. It was just somebody didn't want to pay the return fee, and it was inauthentic. It was counterfeit. So I realized that I need to diversify, and I went crazy. I diversified I said, what can I diversify? I'm going to diversify on channels. I'm going to diversify on product. I'm going to diversify in business model. I'm going to do every single thing I can so that if one falls, I have something else in the back burner. And I think that everybody needs to keep that in mind. Amazon is wonderful and it's our primary income, but I've got backup plans. And I got a backup for my backup plan. So I tell my kids these days with getting not suspended, getting laid off, you need a backup plan for your backup plan. So we went, too soon. This is kind of fun. I mean, stand up. No, sit down. No, I'm sorry. So we went from RA and OA, and we have a hybrid. We still do a little RA and we still do a little OA, but most of it's coming from wholesale, private label, custom, exclusives. We went on other channels, eBay, Etsy, Shopify. We opened our Shopify store. We don't do a lot there. I need to do some more work there, but it's one of the little seeds that I'm planting. And then we looked at Jet, and I got approved, and I was like, yeah, how do you put something on here? There's no Seller Central. There's no way to load anything. And I thought, well, that's more work. Is it worth the work? I need to look at what the platform looks like. I knew I was going to make ancillary revenue on eBay. I knew I'd make something on Shopify. I knew I'd make something in Rakuten, all these different platforms. But was anybody going to be giving Amazon some trouble? Was there any marketplace, and I don't know if this is the case, but was there any marketplace that to me, given my background, looked like it had a chance in hell of giving Amazon just a little run for her money? It didn't have to beat Amazon. Hertz and Avis are doing pretty good, right? It just had to be a contender. So a lot of reasons why I thought Jet was that opportunity is a lot of people, smarter people than me, with a lot more money than me, I don't like that, but they spent a lot of money investing in Jet. Before Walmart bought them out in August for $3.3 billion, Jet had almost $1 billion of investment money already. So, a lot of people thought they had some legs. Does anybody know who founded Jet?
Mark Lord.
Right. Okay. That was my plan. And Mark Lord was diapers.com, and Amazon and diapers.com had this big fight back and forth, and Mark lost. And Mark went to work for Amazon, and Diapers and Quidsi went to Amazon, which they're now closing. And there he stayed. And it's my personal belief, and I don't think it's a big stretch, that he learned about every single hole and every single window and every single door that Amazon left open. And about 15 minutes after his non-compete was over, he walked over, sat down at a table in New York City, and they gave him a check for $1 million. And he built a system that closed all those windows and doors. You'll see what I mean as we get into it a little bit further. And then e-commerce, and this is, I don't know who said this, I apologize, but someone said that we're just, I think it was actually John, that we're at a really interesting time. Because even though it feels like everything is online, it's this big in commerce. It's tiny, and it's going to just get massive, right? So I have a number here of $1.5 trillion. That's by 2020. It's not far away. So there's tons of opportunity for different marketplace players. There's tons of opportunity for us as sellers. There's just, the sky is the limit. So I thought, well, you know what? Again, Jet has an opportunity now with Walmart to really be a contender and a good place for me to put my energy and resources as a secondary backup plan. Okay, now. So Jet has this dynamic pricing model. So on Amazon, when you buy something for $20, it's $20. When you buy another something for $20, it's another $20. Now they do have the business discounts, but for the most part, if you buy as many as you buy, you never get a discount. Jet says, buy something for $20. You buy two, now they're each going to be $19.50. Oh, you know what? If you get this product, we're going to give you another discount. If you use your debit card, you're going to get a discount. So they're constantly keeping this stickiness factor on everyone that's shopping. And the longer you spend shopping, the more time, like if you ever go to shop for a car, the longer they can keep you on the lot, the more chance you're going to say, well, I've already looked at the, as soon as they let you off the lot, there's a good chance you're not coming back. So the longer they can keep you at that site, the longer they can keep you in Jet doing all these different things, the more likely you're going to buy something. So they have volume discounts. And these are seller funded to a certain degree. They have basket discounts. So the bigger your basket is, as a seller, you can offer a little bit more of a discount. So if you spend $250 with me, I'm happy to give you 5% back. Debit card discount, Mark threw that in there. If you use a debit card instead of a credit card, it costs them less, you get to save that money. And what happens with all these things is, if you do more than one of them, it's 1 + 1 = 3. So you get an even bigger discount. And what happens is, I'll give you a little idea what that looks like first. So you can see here's the starting price for the toothpaste. If you waive your right to a free return, it drops 6 cents. It's not material, but it's again about the experience. If you use a credit card, it's a little bit less. If you do all the above, it's a little bit less. And meanwhile, what's also happening is this space is here. There's not another block. This is the page. There's no other noise going on here about competing products and all that other advertising stuff. This is what you see. And what you might see down here is dental floss and toothbrush. But you're not going to see other things to distract you from this purchase and filling up your cart. And then this is the kind of savings that you're seeing, because another thing that Jet does is the 15% commission you're giving them. They're taking 10%, or they're taking 2/3 of that, and they're dropping the prices. So if you can see this example, I forget where I got this from. I think it was Money. If you bought all these products in this kind of basket, you would have spent $87 on Amazon, $54 on Jet, and you've got the vendor giving some volume discounts and a return. You've got no con fee, it's free shipping just like Amazon, but you're getting a much bigger savings. Now, this can vary, just to be fair, it can vary from purchase to purchase, but their goal is to get all this stuff in your cart, listen to me, all this stuff in your cart, and you will get a bigger basket.
They're raw.
Okay, I go out. And then this is what you can do as a vendor to give you a little insight as to what yours doing for selling. You can say, all right, if $0 to $25 and they buy 2 items, I'm going to give them 2% off. But if they buy more than $100, they'll get 3.5% off, or maybe more. I mean, I don't have a really good example, a really full-fledged example here, but you get the idea that you can really play around with based on your margins and what things are worth to you, and how much you're going to incentivize someone to buy from you. And I should clarify that you're not selling it, Jet's selling it. You sell to Jet. So sales tax, no sales tax. That doesn't even come into play. You never ever have to think about it. That's Jet's problem, because they're the credit card record, holder of record. So I like that because I hate sales tax. Yes. Okay, I guess that's going to be a thing. And then you can do some shipping discounts depending on what locations you're in, the zones and everything. I mean, I do everything FBA, and that's how I fulfill all my stuff on Jet. But you can pick, so on appliances, you might want to give a huge discount so somebody does not return a refrigerator or a microwave. But a toaster, not so much. It's okay. So, yeah. I'm not going to growl every time. It's a little weird. A little creepy, a little weird. And then you can also do different adjustments in terms of, again, you can go into a category and certain things, oversized items, again, you might want to give a discount because you don't want it coming back, or you want more of it to sell, you bigger margin, whatever by category. And this is the big aha. All that dynamic pricing engine, all that, putting everything there and trying to keep you sticky, makes their average basket 1.5 units per order versus Amazon 1.1. Now, they're not as big as Amazon. They're a little nit on the back of Amazon at this point. But if I'm making an investment in a place that I'm going to look at to try and grow my business, it's so nice to talk to Sam. Just there's no texting. Just nice to then this is what I'm going to get out of it. And I have seen this consistently. I've analyzed my own account. I've analyzed other customers' accounts. And I consistently see like 1.48, 1.51 units on average that I get with every sale. And I get really, I had my best ever sale, probably, well, maybe not my business. I think there was this one random Barbie doll for $800, but it was a $350 order. It was 6 SKUs and 15 items. And I get to see the person on Jet going, oh, They have it in the gardenia in the soap and the shower gel. I can't ever find, I'm gonna get 2 of those, and 2, look at that, they give me a discount, I'll get that other thing too. And then as I'm working through this model as a shopper, I'm seeing everything else being offered to me, and then you get this, you know, I as a vendor get this off, this sale, I'm like, holy, why can't Amazon do that? Why can't they make that same experience? Well, I hope they don't, because then I still, Jeff's gonna lose some of his advantage, and I wanna have, as a marketplace seller, as many places I can sell as possible, get me all the eyeballs. Thank you. You look beautiful.
That makes a good team.
Yeah, he's so cute. So this is what, like I said, here's Jet, right? Here's Walmart. Although Walmart is picking up their pace, I don't have the numbers for last year updated yet, but they had a huge quarter-over-quarter Walmart in last quarter. They usually grow like 6%. Everybody sort of laughs at Walmart. Wow, that's nice. That's nice for you. You know, like Amazon did like 40%. This year they did 30% quarter-on-quarter. And the reason they did that is they opened Walmart. They opened the third-party marketplace sellers to get in, and they took all the stuff that Jet had on its marketplace and they put it over on Walmart and vice versa. So they're really starting to up their game, and you know, they said, we're going to take you on, we'll see. But it's nice to see a competitor and someone that you know, is coming into the space. Okay, so you're asking the question, should you sell on Jet? This is a quick one, right? I do, sorry. So there's a lot of white space. There's a lot of room right now. A lot of the products aren't on there. I know I went to look for some medicines for my dog, some like flea stuff and a collar and stuff, and they didn't have a huge selection. Like, there's no space there to get on there. And I looked at a couple other things. So there's a lot of product on there, but there's a lot of place for you to be on there. Oh, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to interrupt me at any time. I got one. I saw you do this, so I'm going to go.
He's not sure.
Yeah.
I always, and ignorance is bliss, but Walmart and Jet are 2 separate entities. I wasn't aware of that at this point. So
Yes.
how are they differentiating just between each other?
Well, I think a lot of people still view Walmart, and I'm just going to make stuff up because I don't really know. But a lot of that's bullshit. Like my husband goes, really, you know that? I'm like, no, I just wanted an answer on it. So you leave me alone. But Walmart, I think what I hear a lot of times on Walmart is, oh, isn't everybody really cheap that shops on there? And I'm like, I don't know, I shop in there. I just want to pay the least amount of money. I don't think I'm cheap. I just don't. It's on Amazon, it's on Walmart, it's on Jet and eBay, and I feel comfortable with all the sellers. I'm going to pick the lowest cost, best option for me. You know, I might not want eBay because it's, you know, there's 75 billion offers and I got to figure out which one, you know, doesn't come with a lip balm or whatever. But that's kind of like, that's what I think it is right now. What's going to happen?
If they're going to be gone at some point.
I don't know. I feel like I really only have like a 6-month, like, I don't know, what was that Johnny Carson thing with the envelope and put it in the bed? I feel like I only have like 6 months vision. Johnny?
I just want to say Amazon and Apple's never became one.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I mean,
6 p.m.
I'm now the same guy, Mark Moore, who's the little business Jet versus the larger business, multi-billion-dollar business Walmart, runs their sites.
Right.
So they got him in, and they're using his brains to run both sites.
He became the head of Walmart e-commerce.
Yeah, and then a lot of people aren't there anymore because of that. Yeah.
Consolidated.
So the Walmart business sort of has this, I predicted, you know, just jokingly with Brian, I said, it's going to be Jetmart, right? That's what they're going to do, they're going to make Jetmart. But I think they're going to leave them, there's a lot of reasons right now they're not going to combine. It's because Walmart is this big, massive, hulking thing with all these disparate systems and all this other stuff. So to get that dynamic pricing engine connected into their inventory, doing all the stuff that they need to do, maybe not so much yet, but I think that they're going to take that dynamic pricing engine and put it on Walmart at some point. I just don't know about the...
Jet grocery, I mean, I can see dynamic pricing with grocery. It makes sense. You walk through the virtual aisles and you keep loading up your cart. But would you do that with sneakers?
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, every year I go to try to find 1 pair of sneakers for my son in the same size. I don't know, he's 14, never found a pair of sneakers he likes that there's more than one pair in the damn store. So I go online and I find the other pair, but, you know, sometimes we get multiple things at the same time. I mean, I sell a lot of beauty products. When people find that, I don't know how much body wash anybody needs under the sun. They'll buy 4 or 5 stuff, 34 ounces, and because you're getting a discount. And it's hard to find, or it's difficult to find, or it's just easier and they get the discount.
Can you talk about the logistics for, I think most of the people here are FBA.
Yeah, I have a slide, yeah,
Oh,
we'll do
sorry.
that. No, that's fine.
That's what I want to know, because I don't understand how the acronym works.
Okay.
Is it like a weekend arbitrage, like, how compared to FBA?
All right, this just gives you an idea. They did a survey last year of how many, I usually start and say, has anybody heard of JET? Yeah, good, okay. And I felt like the last time I did this presentation, everybody raised their hand. Not so much selling or buying, but definitely have heard of it by that. It seems that purple head's blowing up. But this is how many Amazon plus $1 million sellers this year, 2017, want 50%, almost 50% of them said they want to be on JET. They want to take advantage of that channel. And then smaller sellers said, maybe not so much my first choice, I want to get my Shopify site up or my online site up first, but then I want to do JET. So there's a lot of interest. And then, I'm getting there, I promise. So the difference between JET and Amazon is on JET you have to apply, you have to be approved. And what they're looking for is a real business. They're not looking for, I went to the garage sale and I got this and that, nothing wrong with that. They don't want to deal with it. They only want new products. And they may or may not approve you. They may or may not approve you right away.
What's up with that?
I don't know. You know what? They couldn't find your online presence. That's what I found out was the problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think they had the right
Seriously?
store name or something. They couldn't find you.
Okay.
I think that was it. So I can make up more stuff too.
Okay,
But,
Facebook ads, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't know what.
not that they didn't know who you were. It wasn't personal. Or maybe
Hurt my ego.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to bring that up at all. That was totally it. So the but they may or may not approve you today, and they may approve you in 4 months though. It just depends. You know, like we were just there and they were just doing first party for a couple of weeks. So anybody who applied at that time had to go sit and wait a couple of weeks. It's very bizarre, but it's different. The reason it's different is because of how many people have had anybody squatting on their listing, brand new seller just launched 1,000 listings in a recent time. That does not happen on JET because you gotta get approved. And then once you are approved, all your listings have to be matched to the unified catalog. You cannot put, how many people have seen I love this one, the Product X and a lip balm? That does not happen on JET. That makes me feel like now. Like, that's the weakest bundle I've ever seen. It's not even thinking. It's horrible. So back to the unified catalog, there was one listing. JET controls it. They control what information is displayed. If you have a private label product, odds are once they approve it, they're going to take all your information. So make sure that that information that you load is good.
How are you selling to JET?
You sell to JET.
How? I usually sell to Amazon, so is a wholesale, but you have a buyer that comes in?
No. You sell, so, maybe, I don't know which slide it is. Click more. Okay, that's good, back one. So I think I should go right here. So this is how our software works, so it's a little bit of a commercial, I apologize, but it gives you the idea. So we download your catalog from Amazon. We upload that to JET. So all your listings, just like Joe Lister, maybe that helps a little bit. It's just like Joe Lister. And then JET approves the listing, your item sells, it goes back to the API. The API then tells FBA to send it out. So it's all automated. Huh?
Amazon is holding your stuff.
Yeah, so that's how it works. Your FBA is in the warehouse, and when JET sells it, there's a little message that goes to the warehouse and says, send this out.
So once you're approved, you can present anything basically through uploading it, and then they'll decide whether you're going to make it live or not.
Correct. Some things are like this, some things not so much.
And some things already selling by another vendor, you'll be on separate listings?
Oh, no. One listing. And you will be in, their version of the buy box is a little bit subterranean, so I don't know, that's maybe not the best word, but it's a little bit,
Is it below the fold?
you don't see you at all. You're not there till the very end, and then they let the buyer know that it's being fulfilled by, company XYZ. So you can't really, I know, I'd be like, oh, I can sell all this stuff, I'm not allowed to
So
sell,
it's
no.
the
I can't do
opposite
that.
of the Amazon buy
Opposite,
where
they
it
don't-
says sold by blank, fulfilled by Amazon, this is sold
It's all-
by Jet, fulfilled by Joe.
Yes, all sold by Jet, and they stand behind it. So I thought it was really interesting, I've got a few returns, and I'm like, this customer is not, I can't believe that they returned, this is what a mess. And so when I went back to process the return, I called them and said, listen, I had a real problem here, it's been opened, it's broken, it's a mess. They said, well, do you think you can resell it? I said, I gotta throw it out. They're like, then don't refund it. It's like, what? They go, well, we've already refunded the customer. That's not, you're talking to us now. It's like, oh, that's interesting. No, I'm not gonna do anything bad, but it does make me think that, I can take a restocking fee if it's a mess and it has to be repackaged. I just had something, for whatever reason, FBA shipped out a container of maple syrup in a plastic bag. I was like, it's glass. And I shipped it packed in bubble wrap in a box, and you sent it in a FedEx package in the Tyvek envelope. Put a little bubble wrap in there, that was good. So anyway, so I just said I'm not refunding this at all because it's, just purple sticky stuff.
At what point does Jet purchase you per transaction?
Yes, when it's what? So it's quasi drop shipping?
So your customers are receiving these packages in an Amazon box,
Yes.
and you haven't had any problems with that?
I have, if you're in, the packing slip says delivered to you by Jet, and all that information is specific to how you would return it to Jet. Honestly, and I don't know, it's just me thinking this, but I think Mark Ward is laughing his ass off. It's like, yeah, they built all this infrastructure to send my stuff out, that's so sweet. But,
How does that get into the box?
that's what,
Are you actually doing the shipping?
no, Amazon multi-channel fulfillment is taking instructions from, well, in our case, co-merchant, and typing that on the sheet. They do the same thing for eBay.
Oh, I see, okay. So then further that you have
Yeah,
everything onto the
they-
packing slip.
Jet made a lot of gating factors to keep out some of the bad actors. So the people who are jumping on listings now with just launched 1,000, they have a really hard time getting by that. All the manipulation with the reviews, Jet controls the reviews. So they just tried to keep the marketplace as clean as they possibly could for the seller. So with a lot of time, like a lot of people, I'm getting some feedback, or I'm seeing some feedback on some competitors' products that customers are never buying again because they got cracked. There's like some trustworthy issues, and Amazon's working their butt off to fix them. But that's I think why they sort of scheduled it or set it up that way. Okay. So can you go back up? I don't know what it is. Yeah, there we go. All right. So listing in a nice typo. I guess I can't spell. Monza. So listings time to live on Amazon just launched 1,000 listings. There you go. But on Jet, it could be as instant as soon as it goes up, it's approved, or they can take several months to be approved. Yeah. And some of that is the nature of them being a startup, and some of it is a gating factor. You don't sell to the customer, you sell to Jet, there's no sales tax, you get payments just like Jet and Amazon. I said mostly because people are getting daily and it's all over the place, I get you. And I don't know, I would just spend more if I had it, I don't know. There's no, the search optimization, all the keyword stuffing, all that stuff, they don't have it at your fingers. You have to make really strong listings, and they're doing any search keywords on their end side. And they do have reviews, but those are just launched, they're just starting with that. Okay, I think. New items only. You have to acknowledge all your orders within 15 minutes of receipt. So you either have to build, there's practically no way to do this without an API because, how could you be there? Okay. Every 15 minutes. They don't charge a monthly fee like Amazon. The commissions are pretty much the same as Amazon, although I did notice on grocery, it's almost half the price of Amazon, which is a nice little surprise. Same fulfillment as Amazon. Price parity, I don't know if anybody's on Walmart right now, or on Jet. If there's anybody in the room, is anybody on Jet in here? Yeah, Brian, you're on Jet, in our customer, okay. If your prices are out of whack, you're not there. You're not seen. So on Walmart and Jet will just suppress your listing. It's not in consideration, that it's not in the algorithm. Okay. All right, and then this is, so I obviously put RAPI up because I have a vested interest, but it's something that when you consider looking at someone to help you facilitate your listings on Jet, that you ask these questions. Are they able to acknowledge receipt in 15 minutes? If they're a vetted vendor, like we're an approved vendor of Jets, if they're a vetted vendor, then odds are they're required. They're required to do that, so that's not a big deal. So anybody that if you go and apply and get approved in Jet and say, well, who do I use? They will tell you. But use co-merchant. Your inventory, we update inventory every 5 minutes. Jet requires it to be done once a day. I would recommend, giving the constraints of Q4, that you want your Amazon and your Jet inventory to be in sync. And it's important too, because if you have correlated products like toothpaste, a toothbrush, and dental floss, you want to make sure Jet has good information to cross-sell you. We're US based, a lot of the companies aren't. I think that's kind of important. So, and I think more than anything else, we're seller based, so we kind of know what next to build to make things better for customers and to sell. We have a low percent, we do not have a percent of revenue, we have a low monthly fee that's scales with you. As your more listings get approved, your price will go up in accordance, but not above what those will support. We support price parity. We have automatic pricing. So if your price goes down on Amazon and you're using Repricer, when we pull over inventory, we're pretty much, well, close enough. He's good. That's not exactly how it works. Like, damn, don't look at Brian. Don't look at Brian. When the inventory gets over an update, Brian, stand up. This is my business partner, Brian Selmatic. Ring on the mouth. So when when your inventory comes over and gets updated, your pricing gets updated. The API needs to handle returns. It needs to auto-update your listings when they go out of inventory and they come live again. It has to reactivate them. And you should probably, unless you're a huge company, I would say we have no setup fee. It's complicated, but it's not impossible. It's pretty straightforward. So we don't charge setup fee. And we also give 1 month free trial. So that was my commercial. And then this is how it works, and it's pretty much how the whole system would work. So if anybody interested in here selling on Jet, should I just fall off the stage and leave? Oh, okay, cute. That's good. All right. See Brian. So if you're selling on Jet, what are the ways that you're going to win their buy box? Because it's so not present. Obviously, having the best price, giving a quantity discount, being close to a customer. Obviously, if I'm in the East Coast and I have an East Coast customer and I'm going to give a discount because it costs me less than shipping, Jet's going to preference me. Jet's going to preference me if I can offer more, and it doesn't even have to be a huge discount. It's just offering the discount, just like, all right, that's something else I can use to trigger the customer and keep the stickiness factor. I like that. If you have competition for a product, obviously you want to have the best price. Having complementary products puts you more in their circle because, again, Jet wants to get that cart filled up with as much as possible. Offering free returns, it's not rocket science. It's pretty much all the stuff good businesses do to get sales and customers. A lot of people, when I first talked to them about it, they're like, oh, amazing, I can sell X on Jet and no one will know. They'll know. And they'll work hard. If it's bad enough, they'll find you. And you can do FBA or multi-merchant fulfill. So Jet works a little different. You have warehouses all over the country. You can tell them where they are from a merchant fulfill perspective so you can gain speed of delivery, which Jet will also give you some preferencing. And then a lot of people ask me what's the best business model. Technically speaking, and I'm sure we have customers that do RA, but I've never asked, like, don't ask, don't tell. The best model for them is to be a full ownership of what you have, and I guess the definition can be, when you sign up, they ask you, do you have ownership of these products? But I know OA and RA might not be what they mean, but we do have customers that are on there doing very well with that. Private label is great, but again, you might take a little bit longer to get up and running, but then you're gonna own that space, obviously, because it's your product. And wholesale is amazing because you'll get on there really fast with EPCs, and there's a little white space, so it's worthwhile to put, we always advise customers to put as much up there as possible, because it can take a while for it to get approved, and you don't know which category it's gonna happen in. And, all right, and Jet, I look at Jet, this is my investment. It's gonna take me some time to do it. It's very easy for what I have, actually, my VA does everything. But, it still was time to get them trained and to have them understand it. So I look at it that way, and it's been growing. So we started last January, and I did a sale a week, and now we do daily sales. But is it Amazon? It's not Amazon yet. But I have high hopes, especially with a $3.3 billion investment on the part of Walmart, or purchase price on the part of Walmart, that's going to grow, and it's going to be a contender. All right. I don't need to read my slide. Hey, okay, so how do you do it? Before you do anything, you've got to get approved. Once you get approved, you can go to, and I can't even say I've had an Apple issue. That's just bad. It must be your computer. I think it got messed up. Yeah, just say yes, Barb, that's great. Make me look at it, it'll be worthwhile. Just put $20 in it for you. And then,
Computer, I swear.
yeah, that's right. I have a number of discussed. And then we will get you set, you get signed up, get approved. Once you get approved, you need to get your API verified. You need to get your connection to get verified through the API. It's close enough, Brian? Yeah, okay. And then we give you 1 month free trial, get everything set up, get you all working, your listings get loaded, and pretty much if you're FBA, it's hands off. And if you're a merchant, it's pretty straightforward too. Every time you get a sale, you get a nice little email that says fulfill now as a merchant, or something sold as FBA, and then it all just goes back and forth with very little to no intervention. Okay. Any other questions?
If you have a merchant fulfilled product, does your software still tell them in 15 minutes?
Yes. You have to. And I'm assuming if the inventory is in there, then you have it, so.
Right, yeah.
No, you're gonna.
I just wasn't sure if it was
Oh, yeah. No, on that.
So if someone has stock in their warehouse, how does your software work with Jet?
Well, you're gonna have your listings there, and you can tell how many units are available, and it would just tell Jet that's how many to have.
And then you would get the order.
Right.
You mentioned about fixing your listings. Now, let's say, a lot of us do OAR, so we're jumping on existing listings and everything. So now with Jet, there is, you set up existing listings, so really you'll be another merchant on there. How do you optimize that listing to Jet to go on the list?
But you're gonna do it through discounts, and you're gonna do it through trying to have the most geographically advantaged offer, or you're going to do it through giving a waiver fee on return. It's a little obtuse, but you have to be pretty good at math. I think it's kind of a requirement.
And if it's still FBA, now most FBA, for us, are commingled. So when I have custom in California, FBA is shipping it from some of this California inventory, then shipping it from my inventory. How does that work with the geographic algorithm?
Well, you wouldn't be able to use geographic on FBA. That's why that was all blank. This is my account in this example. I do have 3 on there now that are merchant results, so I could try it. Anybody else?
Would you suggest that you hit big button, not ready yet? I'm sorry, I forgot to raise it.
Yeah. Speak loudly.
If I'm not ready yet, would you suggest that we get you approved on certain SKUs right now just to be in your system?
I would suggest that you get approved on Jet. I would go after Walmart too. I don't know with whatever is going on in the marketplace. They may say, hey, we're going to merge Jet and Walmart, no new sellers, right? And you want to be there. Or we're going to say, hey, we have enough of X. I know they've closed certain products out. That, like in the Tide, basic grocery area. there's not too much to get excluded on, but I think it was that and Lego. Legos were the only other thing that were excluded. So I think that I would get approved, because you make it too many, you have to get reapproved again. And and it takes so long to get the listings up and running in some instances, also get them going as soon as possible. You know, I'm a big believer of like signing up for college, but I do it, so. I want to at least make sure I've got my chip in the game. No more questions? Are you okay?
Thank you very much.